running along the top of your screen any moment now, indicating that I am recording the session. This, like all of the classes I teach, are posted to a YouTube channel where you can go back for your own reference needs. And I also will attach this along with a recap of everything you'll see in the slides that I'm using in an email to follow up the class shortly after it ends. So what we're going over today is some tips on managing Gmail as a real estate agent. I'm only put this one together because I have a handful of agents that were requesting just some organizational functions in regards to their Gmail accounts. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. As I do that, I'm going to ask that everybody please remain muted throughout the entirety of the class. I will take questions at the end where you can open up and unmute yourselves to ask any. If you would like to note something so you don't forget, feel free to utilize the chat feature as part of your as part of the class to be able to add something just in case you don't want to forget, and I will reference that at the end as well. Give me 1 second. Looks like some gardening might be starting. I'm just going to close my window real quick. All right, sorry about that, everyone. Let's go ahead and get rolling. So like I said, this is a kind of a handy half-hour session. We're going to focus on some tips or hacks on how you can better manage your Gmail account as a real estate agent. And before we dive into the class specifically, I just want to front load a little disclaimer that me, as in Anuj, the presenter of this class, for those that do not know me, I am the field marketing specialist in Santa Cruz and Monterey County. I am not endorsing the use of any email server in particular, nor is Coldwell Banker. I just have a handful of agents that have asked questions about this, and of course we wouldn't tell you what to use specifically as this is your own business, but there is an importance that I want to note that public email servers like Gmail or Yahoo, things like that can be accessed by any consumer aren't secured business servers like the ones managed by the company under the CB NorCal email. Therefore, there are certain coverages that may not be applicable if anything were to happen, like your email were hacked and a client's or consumer's information were then corrupted or stolen because of it. For more details about the kind of dangers you can fall in by using a public server, that is a great conversation to have with your manager if you have any questions about that. Now, disclaimer aside, if you are using a server like this or Gmail specifically, it can be challenging just regardless of what email you're using to kind of keep track of everything that's coming in. And specifically, an email like Gmail isn't built to primarily function as a business email. So a lot of times real estate agents can end up stuck doing mundane tasks, and that can eat up hours in your day. You add up all those hours in a day and think about how much time you lose in a week that you could spend instead trying to reach out to your consumers. So I just want to present 7 little things that you guys can think about putting into action in your email usage to maybe better your productivity. First thing we're going to dive into is a tool that you can use called UnrollMe, and I will send you the information in the recap. And I'm going to go ahead and open up my email here, and we can take a look at what this is. This is a free tool that costs, there's no charge to this, and all it does is it's going to aggregate all of the subscription services that you have coming into your email account. So if you've ever, been browsing for something for your clients and, you've got all kinds of newsletters coming in, or if you happen to be using this email as something that you're using for online shopping as well and things like that, maybe this is your primary email also. And, you may have tons of stuff like this, different kinds of subscriptions that have been coming in for ages. Unroll.me will aggregate all of those and will allow you to either delete the emails, unsubscribe, or focus them and sort them so you don't have to deal with it as a part of your daily inbox tasks. It's a great tool that will allow you to, again, manage and declutter your inbox with a ton of stuff that isn't pertinent to your business. The next one, I'll do some live demos of. There's a lot of great settings in Gmail itself that can help you stay on top of your email and the business happening therein. Because again, if we're using this as your primary point of management, you want to make sure that you're getting in that slide, I'm talking about notifications. I'm going to go ahead and blow this up real quick. And again, I do apologize about the leaf blower. I hope it's not too loud. He should be gone soon. What we're going to do is when you're in Gmail, obviously, if you're taking this class, you are using this email server. I'm just going to go over some quick things. You've got the primary boxes and groups and labels that you will see available here on your left-hand side, and we will talk about how you can edit those in a bit. When you drop on more, you will see the rest of the categories. You've got Google Hangouts, which is its meeting section right down here, as well as their chat. Hangout contacts, Hangout conversations, and phone calls. If you've ever used Outlook, this is a lot like the switch between the calendar and the email section itself. This will just allow you to switch between the contacts that you are viewing. I don't have any contacts in here, so there's nothing to switch between. You've got your inboxes right here, primary, which is going to be everything coming into the inbox, a social inbox, which is going to automatically group things, and a promotion inbox. These are things that you can edit and change yourself, all in this settings section. Configure inbox will allow you to edit these kind of sections, and then you can also create or manage the emails that are going in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and you can see how something would disappear. And then we're going to go talk about what I was talking about on that slide, which is notifications. So if you click on settings, you will see all kinds of options in here, from basic things like how many conversations show up on the given page, the default reply behavior. What we are going to do is scroll down, and the item I want to talk about, I'm trying to time this with that leaf blower again. I apologize about that. The thing I'm going to talk about is right here. Desktop notifications. So part of being able to stay organized with the email is making sure you're on top of what's coming through and being able to be notified about it right away. Two basic options are you can have every email that comes into your inbox or primary tab, so anything that you are sorting to go into those two sections, you will be notified about on your desktop. So as you're working, you'll get a little icon that'll pop up in the top right or left that lets you know you got an email no matter where you are. You can only do important emails, so things that you have tagged as important, or you can turn them off entirely if you were giving a presentation like I am and you don't want to be interrupted. We can go ahead and do that. You've also got things like a vacation responder, signatures. If you've got a signature you've had the design studio make in Design Concierge, you can grab an image version of that. This is a great thing your FMS or your SSA can help you out with, and place it there and create a new signature. But I digress. We have made any change that we make, we scroll down to the bottom. You got to hit save changes, otherwise none of it sticks. Every time you hit save changes, it will kick you right back to your main landing section. So what we've done there is given a little overview of kind of what you find in just the basic side of the settings, and then adjusted the desktop notifications. But let's say you want to sort and manage what's going on in those labels and in and you wanted to group certain labels, like important, into specific folders. The labels and folders sub-editing section of Gmail is a fantastic way to, again, manage your email in a way that best suits your business needs. Because again, this is going to vary based on how you like to reach out to your consumer and how you've discovered, based on the years that you've been doing this, how they like to, or what I should say, they like to interact with, and how you can then group those things if it's based on, a prospecting type email, if it's a community related email, if it's a market information related email, whatever the case may be. This is the ways to manage it. So again, we're going back to our little settings icon right here. I'm going to click on settings, and that will take us to this entire row of items that we see here. So first, we were reviewing stuff just in this general section. The one right next to it, labels, is where we're going to talk about how we can sort and group things. You've got, as you can see, these system labels are these defaulted ones that we were looking at earlier on the left-hand side here. You can choose to show or hide these based, again, on your needs. So if I don't star a lot of messages, I can get rid of that, and you will see it has disappeared from there. If I want to make sure my important messages are all grouped, I can turn that on and make sure that shows there. I can have my chats added if I utilize the Hangouts and Chats feature a ton. But again, this is a way you can make sure if you're using any of these items, you can have adjusted to best meet your needs. Scheduled would be emails that, much like in Outlook, you can schedule an email. You can have something written up and say, I want this to send, if it's the 9th right now at, 1:15, and I want the email to go out on the 10th at 10 in the morning, that would be a scheduled email. Difference between that and a draft email is the scheduled email will go out on the date I have scheduled it. A draft is something that you have typed and saved, but haven't scheduled or completed. And again, we can choose to keep, hide those, or in this case, show if unread. Same for spam. You can show, hide, or show if unread. Spam label shown in labels when it has unread messages. That's what that means. And then the trash. If I want to make sure I can see my trash, turn that on. Categories. Again, these are defaulted by the system. So you can have these on or off. And as you can see, categories will turn on. We've got social emails and sets like that. Or you can also have underneath categories, if you don't want to use those, what are called labels. And these are ones that you can customize yourself. So for example, you can see one that I've created called, let's say you've got an HOA group that you email to, and I want those specific emails to be grouped in one place. This is something I can do. I can also create a new group, and I can call it agent updates. And if I want to have if I want this to be a sub-label, like a group. Now, label and group, in this case, I'm using interchangeably. I know that might be a little confusing, so I should explain that. In Gmail, a label is like a group. You can group conversations under a label, or you can have a subgroup under a label as well. I don't need that. I'm going to create a new one, and I'm going to hit create. Now, I can go back to the inbox, and I can either pick specific conversations, and as you can see here, you've got a labels icon, and I can add them to a specific label or remove them from a specific label and hit apply. Or if you're looking at an individual email, you can do the same thing and add it to that. Like, for example, agent email. I can click this, I can move it to agent updates, and now if I click on agent updates, all my emails are sorted right there. Next slide is tying into this, filters and blocked addresses. So now you've created, let's say you've created a label like agent updates. Now, it doesn't do you a lot of good if you've got to go every week or so and dump all those emails in there yourself. This is where the advanced setting, or not the advanced setting, but I should say the filter setting comes in handy. So we're going to go next to accounts and imports. So this 1, 2, 3, fourth tab over from general is called filters and blocked addresses. Now, blocked emails I'm not really going to go over because that's fairly self-explanatory. If you want to add a email to the blocked messages list, e-list, all you would have to do is select any emails like you would dump anything to a spam or dump it into trash. You would just add it to the blocked list, and then you would no longer receive emails from that email. But if you want to create a filter, this is what's cool. So let's say I want to dump everything from my market leader into that folder. So I can go ahead and pick these emails from me and say, I know that all of these emails coming from this person, I want to create a filter for. So I'm going to create a filter. And now I can choose what I want to do. And you need to apply at least one or more to create it. So I can skip the inbox, mark it, and archive it. I can have it automatically marked as read. I could star the emails. I can apply a label, which is what I want to do. I'm going to put it in my agent updates. I could forward the emails. And this will take me to the forwarding section. We'll put a pin in that. Let's go back to my filter. So I want to apply my label. You can automatically delete the emails. So if you didn't want to block somebody, but you knew you weren't doing anything with them right now, you just have them automatically go into the trash for a certain amount of time until you wanted to deem it otherwise. You can mark something to never send to spam, something that's important if you know you're doing something with a client or in the midst of a transaction. Or again, you can create a label for a transaction, so that way all of the emails associated coming from person A and agent B, etc., are all going into one place. Again, these are just things to do whatever best will suit the needs of your business. I digress. Obviously, you can see there's tons of stuff in here. You can also add them to a category. Make sure this goes into categorize as primary because there are also agent updates, or I could not. Anyway, create the filter. And as you can see now, we've got a filter created in here. So anytime anything comes in from that, will automatically go in here. I didn't check it to be marked as read, so I'll see new emails automatically in my HOA group the second I come to my landing page. Next tip is a work smart, not hard tip, canned responses. They're convenient replies that can make email productivity faster, especially from your smartphone, because these things will sync. And how do we do canned responses? So again, on our home page, we're going from settings, clicking on the gear, going into settings. Now we're going to go into advanced. Advanced will take us right into what we're looking for is templates. Our canned responses are templates that you can create, save, and manage all through the Gmail platform. First thing you got to do is enable them, and we hit save, and that'll take us right back to the home page. Now that that's been done, we can go to compose a new email. We can click on these three little dots, the more options. And we can go to templates. Now, I've got one that I've already made. And you can see that template right there. But if you want to create a new one, it's just as easy as going in here and going, this is going to be my new template. Please call me anytime at the phone number below. And let's say you've got a signature built in, all that good stuff is there. All you have to do is click on more options, go to templates, save draft as template, and you can either overwrite an existing one or save as a new template, give it a name, save, and now you've got a brand new template ready to use. Again, both mobile or on the desktop version. These are quick canned responses that you can use at any time. And again, if you need to delete a template, hover over delete, choose which one you want to get rid of, and just like that, it's gone. Super easy to manage. The only thing you need to make sure you do is go into the settings, go into advanced, and turn templates on because it is not on by default. Offline Gmail. Schedule your mail and replies offline. So this is kind of more pertinent to my market, but it is super useful to everybody, especially if you're someone who travels a lot. If Wi-Fi cuts out and you can't use your email, Gmail has a offline version that you can download to your desktop and basically schedule emails too. So you can still work and operate on everything that is in your email the last time it was able to connect to the internet, create and draft and send your replies, and they will all go out the moment the computer connects back to the web. What we're going to do is go to, let me go back to home because for consistency's purposes, I want to go settings, gears, settings, and now instead of advanced, it's that one right next to it, offline. All you have to do is enable offline email. This is going to let you know how much storage you are going to need. You can choose how many days worth of emails you want to have synced to your computer. If you want to have any of the attachments sent to you downloaded as well. And this is clutch. You need to choose one of the following. Option A, keep offline data on your computer. This will store all of the data being downloaded from, in this example, the emails from the last 30 days and will save them on my computer and keep them offline regardless, because that's what you're setting up. Or option B will unsync and delete everything from your computer every time you log out of your email. This, again, I'm not going to say I am going to suggest one over the other, but it is dependent on how you see your security situation and what you think is best for your business. In the grand scheme of things, option B is more secure than option A. That's just, my opinion on that. So that's what, in just my example, that is what I am going to say. Changes are saved, and just like that, the version of Gmail Online will set itself up as a part of your browser. If you are using Google Chrome as your browser, it happens to be a very, very, very easy process, but it also works very nicely with Edge, the new version of Edge, as well as Internet Explorer and Safari. And again, you've got a shortcut to create a bookmark. To go to your inbox, you can hit Control D. And that is offline Gmail. Another work smart tip, and I believe this is my last one. Yes. The last one I've got, we talked about some templates, but there's also, if you guys are interested, there are things that a lot of agents I know, not a lot of them, but a handful of agents that I know, and even some other business professionals that I know are using, are things that are automated response systems. So these are not free, so I'm not going to spend a whole ton of time talking about them. However, it's a door if you would like to dive into. What it does is it allows you to create automated follow-ups based on prospects, generally using kind of an if-then scenario. So if you get an email from this source, it would then, or asking this certain thing, it will then follow up to respond with this sort of thing. Or if you get a calendar notification, automated responses are set up to go to this person for this kind of a meeting or this kind of a meeting. They're really cool support tools eligible for both Outlook and Google. I have two that I have noted in the past. One is an application, the other is an extension, HubSpot Sales. Both of them do the same thing. It's just a way to have an automated system to make this a little bit more like a CRM, like InTouch is. If you would like to have templated emails that you don't have to go in and send yourself, this would just automate that system for you. And to wrap up, do not underestimate the benefits of improving your email productivity. Technology is ever changing, and it is always used as a means for you guys to better leverage your business and get it in front of your consumers in the easiest way possible. And that happens by being able to filter all of their needs into your system in the best way possible for you to address them. So hopefully you can take some of these tools and apply them to your own situations and find out how you can better manage your email to look more like a CRM. I am going to stop sharing my screen and open up the floor to any questions. Please feel free to unmute yourself. And I will also check the chat and see if there's anything going on here. I will definitely share the recording because I will send a recap for you that has all of the information I talked about in those slides broken down as well, so you can review those. Would you have an idea to archive save messages to your OneDrive? So for backing up emails as a physical storage, like saving the emails in regards for long-term backup on a cloud server, that kind of is a very redundant thing. I don't know if I would recommend it. And more importantly, I can't off the top of my head think of a simple way to go about it. If you would like, Emma, you are more than welcome to email me a little bit more of a specific question on that, and I can kind of figure out what you're looking for exactly, and we can go through it that way. You are welcome, Deborah. I'm glad you found it informative. Thank you so much for the feedback. And that is a great transition. If you guys found this valuable or you have any feedback that you would like to provide to me in any way, please feel free. There is a survey link in the recap I will send out. I highlight it in big yellow. It takes no more than 5 minutes. I would greatly appreciate any feedback that you can send. It goes straight to my management team so they can know how I'm doing in the field. If there are no other questions, I'll put, 30 seconds on the clock. Feel free to unmute or type something into the chat. Go ahead and stop the recording.